Do you like John Wick? Do you like shootouts? How about sexy ladies fighting all over the place? How about bank robberies? Are you into a bank robbery? Hit me up if you are, because I actually need some money. You can send it through Cash App. How about John Wick? Do you really like John Wick? Because if you like John Wick like me, you're gonna really enjoy this movie. Welcome to Dumb Down, a show where we watch movies, summarize them, and hopefully we can understand them better. Today we dumb down Hotel Artemis, a movie starring Jodie Foster, Sterling K. Brown, Dave Bautista, and Jeff Goldblum, who's barely in this movie. I mentioned John Wick because it's so evident that this movie is borrowing from The Continental. It's a sanctuary for criminals. Only difference here is that it's not just a sanctuary, but it's a hospital also. The way it works is if you're near the Hotel Artemis and you have a membership, the doctor has no choice but to patch you up. The movie starts off with a heist that didn't go exactly to plan. The main criminal decides to go in with an alternate plan. He's a very smart guy. So he starts asking the hostages which of them has a boss that's a millionaire. They all stand up. He starts asking which one of you has a boss who's an asshole. This one little guy moves out of the way, and everyone else stays standing up. Hold up, I forgot to mention, this movie also takes place in the future, and there's this riot that's going on in the background. Apparently, millionaires in the future use their employees to safely deposit when you're going to the bank. I didn't understand that. I was hoping that the movie would explain that. I mean, why not keep the vault at home? I mean, if you're a millionaire, wouldn't you want to build something that will protect your money? How does the riot affect all of this? What is the riot even about? Why are they wearing these goofy-ass 3D printed masks? Are 3D printers actually a thing in the future? Because right now, you're still in the primitive state. Maybe I should buy stocks in 3D printing. Anyway, one of the criminals decides to take a nice-looking pen that this guy has. After taking that neat-looking pen that you could have bought on Amazon, they melt and burn and blow up this brick wall. Because, you know, that's what you do in the future. You burn and blow up brick walls. Only to notice that they're stuck in an alleyway. And instead of acting like the smart criminals that they are, they start arguing. And this happens.
Contact one! Hit the ground now! You hit the fucking ground!
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
So after this shootout, the main criminal is like, don't worry, I know this place that can patch us up, which just so happens to be right near where the heist took place.
Wow, how convenient is fucking that?
Criminals arrive at the Hotel Artemis. Jodie Foster is waiting right there at the gate, and she noticed that one of them is a little too happy he's holding a gun. She's like, there's rules, you gotta get rid of that gun. So he gets rid of the gun. And now they're required to scan their wrist to this machine in order to see if they have a membership. One of them tries to argue his way in.
I have the fucking chips gun, look!
Bautista comes in and injects him with some shit and knocks him out cold. Foster instructs him where to take him. Eventually he overpowers Bautista, and Bautista is like, yo, I'm a male nurse and I'm gonna have to beat you up if you do this again. So anyway, they bring people who are injured and they take care of them. So this is, all futuristic. We have, 3D printers that print organs and all this interesting stuff like lasers and shit.
This is some high-tech sci-fi Chinese. Ooh!
So in the meantime, while they're preparing Sterling's brother, who was the one who was shot in that alleyway, he goes and meets the other criminals in the hotel. Apparently, he already knows one of them, a lovely assassin played by Sofia Boutella. And then there's this guy, Charlie Day, playing the same guy that he plays in Always Sunny. Very eccentric, over the top. Only difference is that it doesn't fit in this movie. This movie's kind of serious, and he's like, trying to be comic relief, and he just comes off very annoying.
Oh, hey, go fuck yourself.
But don't worry, he spends most of the movie in a rooftop trying to get a ride out of that hotel. So eventually you meet Zachary Quinto. He's playing this guy who, his dad is all injured and shit, and Jodie's like, no, you can't come in. So she hangs up on him. He calls in again, how dare you hang up on me? So she hangs up on him once again. And eventually he calls again and she answers, and Zachary's like, yo, my daddy owns this place and shit, let me in. And Jodie's like, nah, bruh, there's rules and even your daddy knows that. So she hangs up on him and decides to break in. Meanwhile, there's a flashback, and she starts to think in this flashback about her son, who apparently died. And Jodie starts breaking her own rules when she sees that outside there's a cop who's wounded. Batista's like, we're not breaking rules here, we've been here for 21 years. And she's like, no, 22 years, and we're breaking the rule because I know who she is. Batista's like, all right, I'll bring her in.
We can bring her in.
No! Damn it, nurse!
So they bring her in, they patch her up, But don't get out of your seat just yet, because the movie's not over. Remember Zachary Quinto? Yeah, he found a way to break in, and now they have to help his daddy, who is no other than Jeff Goldblum. Jodie takes him in and starts working on him. Apparently he's heavily wounded. And you find out, after she gives him some anesthetics, that he talks a little too much. And he slips out Jodie Foster's son's name. Apparently, he knows the kid's name, but she never told him. So she goes apeshit and starts asking him, how does he know her son?
I got a question for you, Orion. Did you know my son?
We find out that the kid was killed by Goldblum because he stole his car. Goldblum is like this kingpin, and he likes to make example of people who steal shit from him.
You know the rules. If you take something from me, I gotta give you back to the ocean.
Goldblum is not a complete asshole, and he creates the Hotel Artemis. She used to be a nurse, so he gives her that hotel. I find it suspicious, if someone randomly gives you this nice looking hotel, well, you start questioning, why is this guy giving me all this stuff? But anyway, I forgot to mention, remember that pen? The pen that they stole at the beginning of the movie? Well, that pen, Sofia Boutella finds out that it's a vault. It's a little mini vault with diamonds in it. Those little diamonds aren't just these little regular diamonds. These are some, expensive diamonds and shit. They're, worth $18 million.
Wow.
We also find out that Sofia Boutella isn't just there to hang out for Sanctuary. There's a target in the hotel, and the target is no other than Mr. Goldblum. So she goes in, slices his throat, and apparently she's recording it through a feed in a little contact lens that has a camera, so everyone's seeing it live.
All right, baby, send me down the river.
She also turned off the power, and in doing so, she kills Sterling K. Brown's brother. Meanwhile, Zachary senses that some shit is going wrong, something's not right. And now we have our final battle, the battle that we have been waiting for. Zachary Quinto versus Dave Bautista. Actually, Zachary just hides in the corner and he sends all of his men. Boutella, in the meantime, helps Jodie Foster and Sterling escape. She's a heroic person. She's not just a criminal. She has a soul. So she stays behind and has this fight scene in a hallway that's very reminiscent of Daredevil. I get it. That scene in Daredevil looked pretty cool, but do we have to do that in every movie?
That's right.
So the two survivors are about to escape, but before they can, they need to defeat the final villain, Zachary Quinto. Since Goldblum is dead, Quinto wants to assume the big boy pants. But don't worry, Sterling knows that he wants to be just like Daddy Goldblum, so he tricks him by pretending to give back the pen that has all the diamonds. Quinto falls for it, Sterling overpowers him, and Jodie Foster kills him with a deadly injection, and proceeds to give us a really bad joke about elephants.
Whoa, what's that?
I told you. Baby fucking elephants.
Jodie Foster stays to help people who are injured during the riot.
If I leave town, who's gonna fix all these people?
And Sterling K. Brown rides off into the sunset with all those diamonds. Without a brother, but finally he has the money that he was looking for. So things worked out just okay. Apparently, Boutella seems to survive after you watch the after credit scene. You see this little shadow appear, and it's apparently her still in the hotel. And Bautista also survives, even though he's overpowered by a bunch of men. Oh, I forgot to mention, they kill Charlie Day with a 3D printer. They just jam his head into the 3D printer, and so this was Hotel Artemis dumbed down. A pretty average movie, if you ask me. Could have been better if they changed a few things here and there. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button to get notifications. See ya! Bye!
Get the fuck out of here now.